Good morning Year 6 and welcome to Week 5, Day 1. We're going to start, as usual on a Monday, with reasoning and problem solving. Hope you've had a lovely weekend and you're ready to start the week. Okay, we're going to start with reading scales. This thermometer shows the temperature of both Celsius and Fahrenheit. Work out 25 Celsius, what it would be in Fahrenheit. So if you have a look at the scale at the side here, we've got Celsius and Fahrenheit. So 40 Celsius equals 104 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius 86 Fahrenheit, 20 Celsius 68 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius 50 Fahrenheit, and so on. So that we need to know what it's counting up in. So 0 to 10 is 10. That's easy to see. We need to find 25 on this side. So 10, 20, halfway between 20 and 30 is going to be 25. Now we need to find out halfway on the Fahrenheit side, between 68 and 86. So if we take our 86 and subtract 68, 8 from 6 we can't do, 8 from 16 is 8, and then 6 from 7 is 1. So 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Now we need to take that 9 and we need to add it on to the 68. You can add on 10, take 1 away. 68 add 10 is 78. Subtract 1 will give us 77. Or you can use column, whatever you're comfortable with. Joe places some apples on a weighing scale. The pointer shows the mass of the apples. He takes 1 apple away. The mass goes down by 120 grams. So let's see what we're counting in. So we can see it's counting in hundreds here. But now we need to find out what's in between the hundreds, the small gaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to do 100 divided by 5, which is going to equal, you can either count in 5s or you might already know, 20. So each gap has a value of 20. So 720, 40, 60. Okay, now we need to subtract 120 from 760. So on this scale, we need to put the pointer at 640. So we go round to our 600 and we need to count 20, 40. So this is where our new arrow is going to go, our new pointer. Okay, Hassan has a jug with some water in it. He adds another 140 millilitres. Draw the line on the new label. So let's see what's counting in. We have 100, 200, 300. So let's see the small gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So let's see how much he's already got. 20, 40, 60, 80. So he has 80 millilitres, but he's got to increase it by 140. 0 add 0 is 0. 8 add 4 is 2. 1 add 1 is 2. So we're going to increase this until the water level is at 220. So let's have a look. There's 200 and this is going to be 220. So this is where the level of the water is going to increase to. Okay, well done if you got that correct. Right, your turn. I'm going to pause the video and going to let you have a go at these. Right, let's see how you've gotten on with these. So this diagram shows the volume of water in 2 measuring jugs, jug A and jug B. Which jug contains more water, tick A or B? That's the first half of the question. Okay, so let's have a look. So this one is counting in 500s and we need to find out what the small gaps are. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 500 divided by 5. So 5 goes into 5 once, doesn't go into 0, doesn't go into 0. So each little gap is worth 100. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So jug A equals 400 millilitres. Jug B, it's counting in hundreds. 100, 200, 300. Now let's see what the gaps are counting in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps this time. So 100 divided by 4, you can halve it and halve it again. You can use bus stop and divide it by 4, you can find a quarter. So 4 doesn't go into 1, 4 goes into 10 twice, 2 left over, and 4 goes into 20 25 times. So each gap is worth 25. So we've got 100, 200, 300 and 25 in jug B. So which jug contains more water? Jug A. How much more does it contain? So 400 subtract 325. Lots of you will be able to do this in your heads. And the answer is going to be 75. Okay, this container contains 900 millilitres of water. Laura pours out some of the water so it looks like this. How much water has Laura poured out? So 900 in this, and let's see, it's counting in 300. So let's see what's in between. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So to find out what the little lines are, we've got 300 divided by 6. So it doesn't go into 3, it goes into 30 5 times, and it doesn't go into 0. So each gap is worth 50 millilitres. So we've got 350, it's 350, 400, 450, 500, 550. And we need to subtract that from 900. So 0 from 0 is 0, 5 from 10 is 5, and 5 from 8 is 3. So the difference, how much water has Laura poured out? She's poured out 350 millilitres. Then she pours another 100, she pours out another 150 millilitres of water. Draw an arrow to the new level. So we have our 550 millilitres, and we subtract 150. 0 from 0, 5 from 5, and 1 from 4. So we are looking for 400. So we've got 300, 350, 400. So this is how much water is going to be in the jug now. 400 millilitres. Okay, Chen pours 165 millilitres of milk into a measuring jug. Draw an arrow on the jug to show the level of milk. So we can see what it's counting up in. So 20, 40, 60. So it's counting in 20s, and then halfway in between is going to be, halfway between 20 and 40 will be 30. So the little lines will be 10s. That'll be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. Now 170 is too far. So I know this is 170 here. So it needs to be halfway in between to get 165. So this is where the water will be filled to. Well done if you got those correct. Next questions are going to be perimeter, and perimeter is just a posh word for distance. Okay, so the perimeter of this rectangle is 50 centimetres. Calculate the length of the rectangle. So this is the length here. So we've got the width here, and this width here is the exact same. So that has got to be, if this is 7, this has got to be 7. What we have to do then is if we had 7 add 7 equals 14. So we've already got 14 of those 50 centimetres, and we have 2 identical sides left, lengths. So 50 subtract 14. Some of you will be able to do this in your head, but if you need to do this method, absolutely fine. 36 left, but that's between 2. So you can halve 36 or you can bus stop 36. So 2 goes into 3 once, 1 left over. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So the answer is 18. So each length would be 18. Okay, next one. So Lara has some identical rectangles. They are 7 centimetres long and 2 centimetres wide. So 7 long, 2 wide. She uses 5 of the rectangles to make this large rectangle below. What is the perimeter of the large rectangle? So we know the longer edges have a value of 7. So 7 and 7, but each little one here is 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So that would be 10. This is identical down here, so this would be 10. So 10 add 10 equals 20. 7 add 7 equals 14. And if we add those together, we would get 34. What is the area of the large rectangle? Now, area is slightly different than perimeter. Perimeter is all of the outside of your shape. Area is all of the inside of your shape. Okay, and to calculate area, you have to, it's width times length. Okay, so we would do 7 times 10. I hope we all know this, which would be 70. Well done if you got that correct. Okay, the next one. Alfie has some rectangles. So the width is 3 centimetres, the length is 8 centimetres. He makes this shape using 3 rectangles. What is the perimeter of Alfie's shape? So if we have a look, the length is 8, so this would be the same as the length turned on its side. This would be, this piece in the middle here would be 8, this would be 8, and these here would be 3. Now we need to find these lengths, these 2 insides here. How we work that out is the width bit is 3 centimetres and the length is 8 centimetres, and these bits here are the width of this rectangle. So therefore these are 3. And the length is 8, so 8 subtract 3 equals 5. Therefore the insides are worth 5. Now we need to add all of these up together to find out the perimeter. So let's do the bottom bit. We've got 3 add 8 is 11, add 3 is 14. Then we have 8 add 3 is 11. 8 add 3 is 11. We have 5 add 5 is 10, and 8 is 18. And we need to add these together. 8 add 1 is 10, add 4 is 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the perimeter of this shape is 54 centimetres. Okay, an isosceles triangle has a perimeter of 12 centimetres. One of its edges is 5 centimetres. What could the length of each of the other two sides be? Two different answers are possible. Give both answers. So remind ourselves about an isosceles triangle. We need to. And it means two sides are the same. So the first one could mean that this is 5 and this is 5, and 12 subtract 10 equals 2. So this one would have to be 2. So this could be 5 and 2. Then we draw our other one. And this one could be 5, and then 12 subtract 5 equals 7. And then 7 divided by 2 equals 3.5. So each of these would have to be 3.5. So 3.5 and 5. This shape was made of 4 shaded squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's saying the length is 15 centimetres. And there are 1, 2, 3 squares. So if we divide 15 by 3, it gives us 5. Calculate the perimeter of the shape. So each one of these is 5. Now on a square, the 4 sides are the same. So if this side's 5, this side's 5, and this side's 5, and this side's 5, and this side's 5, this side's 5, this side's 5, and this side's 5. So the perimeter, we would count up our 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 sides, so 10 times 5 equals 50. These two shapes have the same perimeter. We've got a regular hexagon and a square. So hex, it's a 6-sided shape, a 4-sided shape for a square. The length of each side of the hexagon is 8 centimetres long, so each one of these is 8. Calculate the area of the square. So these are the same. So let's find out the perimeter of this one first. So 6 sides, each one's 8. So 6 times 8 equals 48. So they both have a value of 48. This has 4 sides. So we do 48 divided by 4. Or you know your times tables, your 4 times tables. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice. So each one of these sides have a value of 12. Now calculate the area of the square. Now area, remember, width times length. So that would be 12 times 12. And I think you all know what 12 times 12 is. That's going to be 144 centimetres squared. If you don't know what 12 times 12 is, you can do this. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Magic 0 in. 1 times 2, 1 times 1. And add those together. You could do 10 times 12 equals 120, and then 1 times 12 equals 12, and add those together and you get 132. And then you need to do another 1 times 12 and add that alongside it. 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 1 is 4. There's 3 different methods of working it out. Okay, well done. Right, tables. Kirsty, Seb, Mina, Jack and Donna belong to a sports club. This table shows the sports they do in 1 week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So we have swimming, jogging and cycling. And we have Kirsty, Seb, Mina, Jack and Donna. How many children do not go swimming? So let's just look at the swimming. Forget everything else, we're just looking at the swimming. So let's go through our names. Does Kirsty go swimming? Yes. Does Seb go swimming? Nope. Does Mina swim? Nope. Does Jack swim? Yes, Jack swims. And does Donna swim? Yep, Donna swims. So, how many children do not go swimming? So the ones we haven't ticked, Seb and Mina, that's 2. So 2 children do not swim. Write the names of all of the children who go to both jogging and cycling. So now we're looking at these 2 columns. So they've got to do both jogging and cycling. So let's go through our names again. Let's see, Kirsty, is she on the jogging? Yes. Is she on the cycling? Yes. So Kirsty gets a tick. And now let's look at Seb. Seb jogs. Seb cycles. Seb gets a tick. Mina. Mina jogs. She doesn't cycle, so not Mina. So Jack. Jack jogs. And Jack cycles. So Jack gets a tick. And Donna. Well, Donna's not on the jogging, so then she can't be both. She's an X. So we have Kirsty. We have Seb. And we have Jack. Okay. This table shows the numbers of children who went walking, sailing or climbing at an outdoor centre. We've got May, June, July, walking, sailing, climbing. How many children went sailing in May, June and July all together? So we're looking at sailing. So we're looking here. May, June and July. So 15 in May, 42 in June. So looking across here. And 50 in July. We need to add those together. 5 add 2 is 7. 5 add 4 is 9. 9 add 1 is 10. So double check. 15, 42, 50, and the answer is 107. Okay. Our next question. How many more children went walking in June than climbing in June? So we're looking at June. So we're looking at walking. And we're looking at June again, and we're looking at climbing. So 80 went walking, 27 went climbing. So we need to subtract those. So you can't take 7 from 0. 7 from 10 is 3. 2 from 7 is 5. So the difference in the children that walked and climbed in June is 53. Okay, a school plans to collect £200 between January and May. This chart shows how much they collected by the end of April. Amount of money collected. Write the name of each month where they collected more than £50. So let's have a look at our chart to see what it's counting in. It's 20s here at the bottom. So let's look at the months. So this one is 20. This one, it's not quite on one of these numbers. So halfway would be 70. That's just over halfway. So I would say that was going to be on about 75. This one is fine. It's 100. And this one is over 160, but not quite halfway to be 170. So this one's going to be about 165. Right. So write the names of each month where they collected more than £50. So this is £20. In January. In February, it's 20, 40, £55. March is 75 to 100, so that's £25. And April, 100 to 165 is £65. So the months are Feb and April. How much money did they collect in February and March all together? So in February it was £55. and March was £25. Now some of you will be able to do this in your head, some will need column, it doesn't matter, whichever way suits you. 5 add 5 is 10, 5 add 2 add 1 is 8, so it will be £80. Okay, you ready for a go? Of course you are. Okay, let's see how you've done with these ones. Class 6 collects litter from a park. The chart shows some of the litter they have collected so far. How many bottles have Class 6 collected? So here is your key, and here are the bottles. So it's saying one bottle represents 100 bottles, because this is a pictogram, that's how they work. So let's see, so that's 100, 100, 100, 100. That's half a bottle, so half of 100 is 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. How many more bags than cans did they have they collected? So cans, one can represents 100, 100, 100, 100. So 300 cans. Bags is the same. 100, 100, 100, 100. And this is a quarter of a bag. So we need to find a quarter of 100. So we halve it and halve it again. So half of 100 is 50 and half of 50 is 25. It's 100, 200, 300, 425. And we're going to subtract 100 from that. Lots of you will be able to do this in your head, but it doesn't matter if you can't. And you're left with 125. So there are 125 more bags than cans. 500 children started a 20-kilometre sponsored cycle ride. This graph shows how far they cycled. This is the number of children. This is how far they cycled. At what distance were exactly half of the children still cycling? So we need to find half of the children. So half of 500 is 250. So we have to see what our chart's counting up in. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. So we follow the line along and it stops here. And we see what this chart's counting in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So the answer is 16. Now, the next question. Estimate, that's a rough guess, how many children completed the 20-kilometre cycle ride. So how many children completed 20-kilometre cycle ride? So we need to have a look here and have a look across on our chart. So this is the finish, how many finished. So let's roughly, so it's roughly below 200. And what we need to do now is, this is 150, it's about 175 there. It's a little bit more, so I'm going to go at an estimate of 180. Okay, Holly says 1/3 of this shape is shaded. Is Holly correct, yes or no? So, like a fraction, how many are there? 1, 2, if we make that the same, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we'd have 6 on the bottom. So it will be 6 on the bottom, and then how many are shaded? 1, 2, and then if we simplify it, it's going to be 1/3. So the answer is yes, and we can simply explain this because So there are 3 shapes, 2 are split into 2 gives fraction. So because there are 3 shapes, as we can see, because we've got a square here, a square here, and a square here, 2 of them they have split into 2, and if we make them all into 6 shapes, it'd be 2 over 6. The mass of a 10p coin is 6.5 grams. The mass of a 5p coin is half the mass of a 10p coin. What is the mass of these 6 coins together? So the mass of a 10p coin is 6.5 and a 5p coin is half of that. So half, we can just halve it or we can divide by 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times. We put on our decimal point. And 2 goes into 5 twice. 1 left over. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. So it's going to be 3.25 for the 5p coin. So let's see, so this one will be 6.5. This will be 6.5, 6.5, 3.25, 3.25 and 3.25. So we can add up 6.5, 1, 2, 3 or times 3. You can add or times. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18 and 1 is 19. So that would be the 10p coins. So the 5p coins, we've got 1, 2, 3. We need to times that by 3. Or you can add it 3 times. 3 5s are 15. 3 2s are 6 and 1 is 7. 3 3s are 9. So now we need to add these together. Remember to hold the place with 0. 5, 12, 19. So it's going to be 29.25 grams. Well done if you got that correct. Okay, Ken buys 3 large boxes and 2 small boxes of chocolates. So he's got a large box, got 48 chocolates in. Small box has got 24 chocolates in. How many chocolates did Ken buy altogether? So 3 large boxes, so 48 times 3. 3 8s are 24. 3 4s are 12 and 2 is 14. And 2 small boxes, so we double 24, which is 48. So 8 add 4 is 12, 4 add 4 is 8 and 1 is 9 and you drop your 1, so 192 chocolates. Oh, we'd like to eat all of those. Okay. The children at Farmfield School are collecting money for charity. Their target is to collect £360. So far they have collected £57.73. How much more money do they need to reach their target? Okay, so this is a subtraction, and because this is a decimal, we're going to make this a decimal. And we pop in our 57.73 and then we hold the places. Okay, so we can't take 3 from 0 and we're going to have to track all the way back to the 6, become a 5, this will become a 9 and a 10. 3 from 10 is 7, 7 from 9 is 2, pop in that decimal point, 7 from 9 is 2, 5 from 5 is 0, and then we have our 3. So it'd be £302.27 left to collect. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, these are the prices of cheese in a shop. Cheddar cheese is 82p per 100 grams. Edam cheese is 66p for 100 grams. Cottage cheese is 45p for 100 grams. Mina buys 200 grams of cheddar cheese and 150 grams of Edam cheese. How much does she pay altogether? So 100 grams of cheddar cheese is 82p. We want 200, so we're going to times 82 by 2. 2 2s are 4, 2 8s are 16. Okay, so that's going to be £1.64. We want 150 grams of Edam cheese. So 100 grams is 66p and we want 50 grams. So to get 50 grams, we need to halve it and halve this. So half of 66, quite easy, 33. So this would be 99p. So we need to add these together. 9 add 4 is 13. 10 add 6 is 16. Down your decimal point. Add 1 and it's 2. So £2.63p. My 2's not very clear there. Okay, Seb buys some cottage cheese for £1.35. How many grams of cottage cheese does he get? So the cottage cheese is 45p per gram. And we've got to see how many we can get with £1.35. I would start adding 45p's together to see. That's 90, that's 200 grams. Add another 45. Oh, and there we are. So that's 300 grams. So the answer, 300 grams. Alfie buys 2 books, each at the same price. He pays with a £10 note and he gets £2.30 change. What is the cost of 1 book? Okay, so first of all, we need to do a subtraction, find out how much money he's spent altogether. So we need to make the £10 into a decimal because we have the £2.30. Pop in our £2.30, hold the places with zeros. 0 from 0 is 0. We need to track back now. This is going to become 0, this will become 9, this will become 10. So 3 from 10 is 7, your decimal point in, 2 from 9 is 7, so it's £7.70 he spent altogether. That's for 2 books. We need to find the price of 1 book. So we're going to divide that by 2 or halve it. So 2 goes into 7 3 times and 1 left over. 2 goes into 17 8 times and 1 left over. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. So 1 book costs £3.85. Okay, the table shows the cost of a new football kit. So we have a shirt, shorts and socks. Altogether, how much does the complete football kit cost? So we have £8.75, we have £5.95, and we have £4.15. So 3 5s are 15, 9 add 1 is 10, add 1 is 11, add 7 is 18, and 4 add 1 is 5, add 5 is 10, add 8 is 18. So the cost will be £18.85. Well done if you got those correct. Okay, we're going to look at missing lengths. This design has 1 large square and 2 identical small squares. The design measures 36 centimetres by 28 centimetres. So we have that here. Calculate the length of a side of the large square. So we need to find out what one of these sides are. So if we look at the shape, a square always has 4 sides the same. And then we have this little fella on the outside here. It's telling us that this is 28, but this with the add-on of this little square here is 36. So we need to find out the difference between 36 and 28. And it's 8. So it's telling us that this is worth 8. Now I need to find the inside square, the smaller square. So what I need to do is subtract 8 from 28. And that's going to leave me 20. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And that is calculate the width of one shaded rectangle. In this diagram, the shaded rectangles are all equal widths. So we're trying to find out the W. So the first thing we look at, it's saying that this length is 34, 18 and 9. The easiest thing to do is take this shape and pop it on this side. And then we imagine that this length is 34. Because all we've done is move it from there to there. And all we're going to look at now is this shape to start with. Okay, so if the top one's 34, the bottom one's got to be 34. We've got 18 and we've got 9. If you add those together, 18 add 9 is 27. But it needs to be 34, so we have to find out the difference. So 34, subtract 27 is 7. So that means this has got to be 7. And therefore, if we go back to the original shape, it would mean this would be 7, this length would stay as 34, and this would be 7. And let's double check, because then the whole shape, both lengths have got to equal the same. So 7 add 34 is 41, 8 add 7 is 25, add 9 is 34, add 7 is 41. So the missing number is 7. Joe has 2 strips of card. Each strip is 36 centimetres long. One strip is divided into 3 equal parts. The other strip is divided into 4 equal parts. And it's saying they're 36 centimetres in length. Joe uses the 2 strips to make this shape. What is the total length of Joe's shape? So we've got the 2 strips and they've moved along. So what we first need to do is look at the strips here. So the first one is divided into 3. So 36 divided by 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So each one of these have a value of 12. Then the bottom one is 4. So 36 divided by 4. So 4 doesn't go into 3, 4 goes into 36 9 times. So each one of these have a value of 9. It's going to really help us to sort out the size of this shape over here, because as you can see, we've got extra lengths that we need to account for. So if we transfer these numbers to here, so 12, 12 and 12, 9, 9 and 9 and 9. What's going to help us here is this. So the new shape to the end here is going to be the same size as the top shape. And we already have 9. We have to find the difference between 9 and 12, which is 3. So that little bit there is going to be 3. And if we have a look up on the other side, we've got the same size shape. And if we can't add up this together, then we'll subtract it from the top one, and we will know then the difference. So 4 9s is 36 and 3 is 39. So this one here, I'll get a different colour, is 39 in length. And the top one at the moment's got 36, but it needs to fill in here. So that's going to need another 3. So what is the length of Joe's shape? And it's 39 centimetres. Well done if you got that correct. Okay, Martin has some bricks. They are 12 centimetres long, 6 centimetres high and 6 centimetres deep. He builds a tower with 5 bricks. How tall is the tower? So let's use this key here to support us. So the biggest is the length, which is 12 centimetres, and then we have 6 for the width and 6 for the depth. So we have a look here, and this is going to be one of these sides, which is 6. The longer one is 12, turned on its side, and then we've got 6. We've got 12, and we've got 6. So we need to add these together. So 6 add 12 is 18. 18 add 6 is 24. 24 add 12 is 36. 36 add 6 is 42. Well done if you got that correct. Now the next question. Each brick is 12 centimetres long. Martin makes a line of 132 centimetres long. How many bricks does he use? So we need to find out how many 12s are in. I need a different colour for this. Or I can just pop it up here. How many 12s are in 132? If you know your 12 times tables, that should be really easy. There's no 12s in 1. There's 1 12 in 13. And there's 1 left over, and there's 1 12 in 12. So it's going to be 11 bricks. 6 identical right-angle triangles are arranged to make a rectangle. Calculate the length of the rectangle. So we've got the width, we need the length. So we have to be clever here. So it's telling us that 2 of the triangles are 7. So the base there, 2 of them together is 7. So we wanted to find out 1, we'd have to halve 7, and that would be 3.5. Okay, so if you look here at this length, we know this section is going to be 3.5, and this section here is the longer bit of the triangle, and as you can see, the longer bit is 7 centimetres. So to find out the length, we need to add 7 and 3.5 together. Just hold the place. So 5 add 0 is 5, 3 add 7 is 10. So the answer is 10.5. Liam has 2 different size rectangles. He has a 45 centimetre one and a 20 centimetre one. He makes this pattern with them. Calculate the lengths of A and B. So we need to use the information that's here to support us. So the light grey ones are all 20 centimetres. The grey one is 45 centimetres. Now we have to find A and B. So we can see the 2 light grey rectangles are just short of the dark grey one, and we have to find the difference now between 45 and these 2 added together are 40 to find A. So 45 subtract 40 is 5. You might be able to do it in your head. If you can't, it doesn't matter, just use column. Now we've got to find B, and we've got 3 grey ones, which is 20 light grey ones, 20, 40, 60, and that's 60 centimetres. And then we've got our dark grey one just above it, and the dark grey one needs to extend to the light grey. So we've got 45, so we need to subtract 45 from 60 to find the value of B. So 5 from 10 is 5, 4 from 5 is 1. So the value of B is 15. Okay, I hope you got those correct. And that is the end of today's reasoning and problem solving. What I'd like you to do now is go and complete the reasoning test. It should take you about 40 minutes. Use the knowledge from this PowerPoint to support you with those questions. Good luck, and we'll mark it all together probably tomorrow morning. Okay, I'll see you all soon.